So here we go, guys. So far we've learned that if we want to store a bunch of stuff in one variable, we would write a number after it like that. Okay, so that would hold 10 numbers. This is called an array. Holds 10 numbers. Okay, and the way you access them is like this. You go nums 0. Zane, Adam, be quiet, please. It's not hard to just be quiet for 10 minutes. Okay. Nums 1 or nums 1, like that would be the second one, and so on and so forth. And we did all that. The only problem is we can't readjust the size as we go. We can't add to it later. We couldn't go nums 10, which is the 11th item, right? We couldn't say that's 25 later on. It would probably crash. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Look, it crashed in a weird error, okay? So we want to come up with an array that's a little smarter than this. Also an array that we can erase stuff out of, okay? So something where we're allowed to manage the memory a little bit better than to just say, oh, give me 10 in a row and that's all I'll ever need. That's not going to be super useful for us in coding. We're going to want to say, give me 10 spots in a row, but leave spots where I can maybe access them later or add more if I want, or delete things out of there as well. Okay? So to do that, we just use this other special kind of array, but it's called a vector in C++. It's not really named very smartly, but what you do is you write the word vector like this, okay? And then in pointy brackets, you write the type you want, okay? And I'm going to get rid of this array. And I'm just going to call this one nums, like that, nums. And then after that, it acts exactly like an array, except it has a lot more special features to it. So I could also say I want 10 of them. You have to do it in circular brackets, but you could say I want 10 spots that I want to use. Okay. I think it should show up in the debug. Oh, it runs nicely there. And then I could just do exactly what I did before. I could go nums 0, and it's all the same stuff. Whatever number I had in there. I think I had 10. Then I had nums 1 equals 25. And what happens if I try to access the 10th one? It should crash again, right? Because it doesn't exist. Okay, let's see if it does. Does it crash? Yeah, it gives me this weird crash error here. It does run. It lets me do it, but it does not return 0. Code crashes. But it's exactly like an array, except, check this out. This will crash my program because the 10th one in the list doesn't exist. But I can actually add to my array by going like this, nums dot, and there's all kinds of little commands I can do to it, just like I would in SFML. One of them is called pushback. That's a command, okay? And if I write the number 47 in there, it will push 47 onto my list. Okay? And if I see out that, nums 10 now, it should work. I now have an 11th number in my list. So it's a little more dynamic than a regular array. There it is, 47. I could also delete stuff out of there. Let's say I want to delete this one right here. I want to delete this out of my list. Okay? So I'm going to go nums dot erase. There's an erase command. It's kind of awkward how to use it though. You can't just write 1. It'd be nice if you could write 1 and it would delete the second one. Because number 1 means 2, right? It starts at 0. It'll give us a really weird error. What you have to actually do is say nums dot begin, which is the memory address of the first item in your list. And then if you go +1, it will deletes the second element. Deletes, man, everything's auto-typing like crazy here. Deletes the second element. So now I can delete stuff out of my list if I need to, which is going to be important for games, right? If I have like a bad guys floating around the screen and I want to delete them, I can do that. I can also print out the size of the array now. I could go cout nums.size. If you recognize some of these functions, it's because a string is actually a vector of characters. Okay? So we've actually been using this vector before as a string, but we haven't really thought about it till now. This should say 10 on the screen. I made 11, I erased one, and now my size is 10. Okay? If I don't add one on here, my size should be 9, because I delete one. Okay? So there you go. That's going to be useful for us for graphics for sure, just to be able to.
Mr. V, can you mix like console applications and SFML things?
Yeah, oh yeah, you could just make it an SFML project, but then just put all your code above your loop, and it would just draw a green circle and then run all this stuff, no problem. Okay.
Yeah, but is there like a compiler that mixes the two? In a way, because like how when they make like games with C++, do it because they need to do graphic or animation through SFML, right?
Yeah, just for 2D graphics they do. SFML only does 2D graphics.
Oh.
If you want to do 3D graphics, you have to use something like either an engine called Unreal or whatever.
What language do they use? They have their own language?
They're all in this language called OpenGL.
OpenGL?
Yeah, or DirectX. There's two of them. Yeah.
Can I go grab my hoodie?
Yeah. Yeah, so OpenGL or DirectX, you basically have this library that just controls 3D points on a screen.
Mr. V!
What?
They kicked me out of the class.
This one?
Yeah.
No, that's just like a little bug.
No, it's not a little bug. Like when they were on your computer on the class list, they removed me from the class.
No, that's not how it works.
No way.
Anyways, guys, that's how vectors work. I want you to try that lab 8.